Welcome to Surviving the Side Hustle, the podcast for high performers who've gone all in, but still feeling a little stuck. I'm your host, Rob Tracy, coach, speaker, and creator of the Prime Performance Process. If you're a solopreneur, small business owner, or just launched your side hustle and you're tired of grinding with no momentum, this is for you. Every week, we bring you guests that have broke the code, generated momentum, and finally got unstuck. And we're diving into their stories, their struggles, and their secrets to generating massive momentum in both their personal and professional lives. We don't do fluff here. We do frameworks, real talk, and share the kind of insights that get you unstuck for good. Welcome, and let's get rolling. But before we dive in, I gotta remind you, if you're overwhelmed, spinning your wheels, or just tired of hustling without the results, it's time for a Prime Performance Strategy session. In this free call, we'll zoom out on your life and business, identify the real reason you're feeling stuck, and build a game plan to help you reclaim your confidence, energy, and gain some clarity so you can get back to doing what you set out to do. Lead, grow, and thrive. This isn't surface level coaching. It's a system built on resilience, intentionality, clarity, and alignment. So head over to survivingthesidehustle.com/free call to grab your spot today. Again, that's survivingthesidehustle.com/free call. Let's get going and help you look good, feel good, and do great things. Yo, what's up? What if the key to leadership and fulfillment isn't having it all figured out, but being willing to stay vulnerable, take risks, and trust yourself through the process? That's exactly what I took away from my conversation with this week's guest, Emily Erstad, a speech pathologist, hospice leader, and the author of It's Not That Deep. Emily's journey is powerful because it's not a straight line. From the Midwest to Montana, then to Tucson, she made bold moves that forced her to confront who she was, what she valued, and how she wanted to lead. Along the way, she leaned into writing as a tool for self-expression, eventually publishing her first book, and now already working on her second. What stood out most wasn't just her accomplishments, though, but her honesty about the struggles, vulnerability, timing, and the messy process of learning who you are while leading others. During our conversation, I had three main takeaways. The first one being, timing really is everything. Emily reminded us that you can run fast, but if the timing is off, things just won't click. Sometimes a launch, a project, or even a personal move doesn't land because it's simply not the season for it yet. So I want you to think about this. Where in your life might you be pushing hard on something when the timing just isn't right? And how could you redirect that instead of forcing it? I'll tell you what, I've started a lot of different projects myself over the years, and the timing just really wasn't the best. That didn't mean things crashed and burned. It just meant that I had to work even harder, struggle even more, and balance and juggle a lot of other things just to make it float. For example, the supplements. When I first started my supplement line, I was working crazy long hours, just trying to research good manufacturers. And it was tough because I had to dish out a lot of money to make the minimum order quantity right off the bat. And then eventually things started getting a little bit better, smoother out. I could research more things, created chocolate protein. And then now all of a sudden I'm up to about 32 different products, including greens and sleep support, creatine, all this great stuff. And now that timing is a little bit better, I was able to dedicate more towards the marketing and such. So remember, ask yourself the same thing. Where in your life might you be pushing hard on something, and even though the timing just isn't that right? And how could you redirect it instead of forcing it? The second lesson that I learned with my conversation with Emily was that vulnerability is a leadership strength. Emily openly admitted that she doesn't naturally trust easily and often prefers to keep to herself. But by leaning into vulnerability, she's discovered deeper connections with her staff, her peers, and even her readers. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the doorway to authentic influence. So think to yourself, where are you currently holding back out of fear of being too much? And what would happen if you showed more of your authentic self instead? This reminds me of a great conversation I had with one of my mentors, Brett. He was really pushing on being vulnerable because he was going through a tough time, going through a divorce, and as a conflict resolution specialist, communication specialist, whatever kind of title you want to give him, he said it was kind of tough at first because he was wondering what other people were going to think. Then he realized that he could just lean into that and share that with the world and show that his authentic self. And I think what happened was a lot of people reached out to him, not only to check in and see how things were going with him and his family, but also to share their experiences. And that led to so many more conversations. So think to yourself, where are you currently holding back out of fear of being too much? And the third takeaway that I had from my conversation with Emily was intentional discomfort builds growth. From moving across the country to publishing a book that was basically her live stream consciousness, Emily has repeatedly chosen discomfort over stagnation. Her reminder was clear. Growth doesn't come from celebration. It comes from challenge. So thinking to yourself again, what's one intentional discomfort you could add to your week? It could be like a cold shower, a tough conversation, or journaling about something you've been avoiding. I shared before that I was kind of in a reflection period of my time, kind of looking back on a lot of different things. Maybe a little bit of gratitude was going on, but I was reflecting and I realized that things were going pretty smoothly for myself. I was steadily onboarding 1 to 2 new clients per week. Current clients that I was working with were really happy and things were going well. Everyone was seeming to have a lot of success, and a lot of the different things on social media and events I was going to all seemed to be flowing pretty smoothly. And I was like worried because it seemed like things were pretty smooth. And what I started doing, because I already do a cold blast at the end of my showers, is I decided that I was going to jump into the shower on the cold instead of letting myself warm up first. And I did that for a couple of weeks, and that really brought a lot of discomfort into my mornings, especially at like 4 o'clock in the morning when I was getting ready. But it was a great way for me to kind of push and challenge myself in a safe environment and really build that resilience muscle. And I absolutely love that because that's exactly where I'm always constantly sharing too, how you're really just like continue to grow through the challenge and not celebration. So you want to look for those little spots. So again, remember, ask yourself, where's one way that you can intentionally add discomfort into your week? And just to kind of bring things back here, as I'm reflecting on a conversation and listening to Emily, I was reminded of my own growth as a speaker too. The nerves before stepping out onto stage felt just like fear until I realized that they were the same sensation as excitement. That reframe turned that discomfort into fuel. And Emily's story echoes the same truth. The things that we're most afraid of often turn into breakthroughs that we need most. So if you're in a season of feeling stuck, uninspired, or unsure of who you are, take Emily's advice. Don't sit back and wait for permission. Do the uncomfortable thing. Reflect on it and trust that timing and vulnerability will shape the outcome. Don't forget, her book, It's Not That Deep, is a great starting point if you want both inspiration and practical strategies for emotional intelligence in leadership. If you're interested in grabbing your own copy, head over to Amazon. And if you read it, reach out to Emily and let her know how it landed for you. Because sometimes the best leadership lessons isn't about getting it all perfect. It's about being willing to show up as you are. Keep learning and keep moving forward. Till next time, guys. Peace, peace, peace.